טוב רבותיי, רוצים להתחיל רק בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, השם ברחמיו עלינו ירוויח. The topic of today, as you all know, it was advertised, the end of days. However, we had a brief conversation or discussion about that. I want you to keep in mind that it is a very wide topic. It's impossible in 1 hour to cover it all, obviously. And there are so many details and there are so many opinions and so many things that we do know, and there are so many things that we do not know, maybe more we don't know than what we know. However, my purpose in this lecture is one, and I want to tell you up front. Logically, I don't think you'll be able to understand everything. I'm telling you in front. I'm going to introduce you to new ideas, probably, or some of them. However, I believe on a spiritual level, you can all understand. So it's kind of material that you have to let your neshama understand. Of course, it's going to make sense. I'm not saying it's not going to make sense, but I'm going to try to open a new dimension that normally we don't pay attention to. We know it exists, each one of us, because so many things we do in our life. I give you just a small example. We do azkara. מה זה azkara? Or yortzeit. What is that? We give some berachot, we say divrei Torah, we say kaddish. Means all of us believe that there's a continuance of your soul, of your neshama. We go, Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet. We say Shalom Aleichem to angels. Do we see the angels? I'm not sure. We put Kiseh, Eliyahu Hanavi, in every Bit Milah. Did we see Eliyahu Hanavi? I'm not sure. We do so many things that belong to this extra dimension, and we're going to try to open up for you today. And we're aware of it, but we did not develop it enough because we don't have enough the knowledge, or we didn't put enough the time. Because in our life we're running, especially in the fast pace of our generation, running after text messages, emails, mortgages, new businesses, and many, many other things that you know, raising families. Everything is challenging in our time. We don't have so much time to relax. So I'm going to try to ask you, let your mind relax now, and I'll give from time to time time for questions. So I want to start with 3 questions. So we're trying to understand what is the purpose of creation. And I'm going to break it down based on introduction to the Zohar by Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag, that he has a whole article about it. Maybe one day I did many times in my life, the whole thing from the beginning to the end. But now I'm going to take only 3 questions that Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag is asking in introduction to the Holy Zohar, and he's asking the following. He says, we look at ourselves. We were created by the Almighty. And we all know, we don't know the Almighty, and we're not allowed even to think how He is. All what we know is one of the most important principles of Kabbalah. When it comes to the Almighty, you can learn and ask yourself, what does He want for me when it relates to me? Not what He is by Himself. You understand the difference? You're supposed to learn and ask yourself, what does He want for me when it's related to me, to the creation He created for me, not what He is by Himself. But obviously this we can know. The Almighty, so to speak, is a perfect, right? Chaz v'shalom, He does not miss anything, He does not need anything. Even our mitzvot He does not need, it's for us. He is completely complete and perfect. So how is it possible that He created human beings that are not perfect? Belashon adina, in a soft language, not perfect. There are so many crimes around us. There's so much wickedness, unfortunately. And when we compare that to the Almighty is a big distance, a huge difference. And to take it to the physicality, to understand this question is valid, if you look at the table that you're sitting on, or the chair, if it looks like good quality table or good quality chair or anything else or whatever, a clock, you can assume when you see something of a quality, of a beauty and quality, you can assume that the person, the carpenter, whoever created it, whoever made it, is talented. But if you see something that it's not so good, break easily, does not function well, said, well, it was a bad job, maybe it's made on China, you say, or I don't know. So when we are the product, the maker is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's the creator. So how is it possible there's such a huge distance between the creator and the creation? How is it possible? That's question number one. Other question, we're saying that the creator is good, and he's only good. And by the way, this is from the Kabbalah. The deepest purpose of creation is to deliver good to human being, to give us goodness only, nothing bad. So how is it possible when we look around us, we see so much pain, so much suffering? Some people in the prison by the Hamas more than 1 year. That's not a pleasure. Some people now struggling for their life in hospital. That's not a pleasure. Some people are starving for few crumbs of rice in India, in Africa, or whatever, whenever they are. That's not a pleasure. So where is the pleasure, the great pleasure that the Torah is talking about, that the Kabbalah is talking about, the Almighty is all about? שתכלית הטוב להיטיב, the purpose is, the source of goodness is the Almighty. His purpose in creation is to deliver good and only good. And the third question, how is it possible? We're saying, Haya Ove Veye, the definition of the Almighty is infinity. He doesn't have a start, does not have a continuance, does not have an end. Always was, he is, always will be. Haya Ove Veye. And we look at our life, every human being, at least on a physical level, starts his life at some point and finishes life at some point. How is it possible? If you are infinity, you are eternal. Why didn't you make us like this? At least the way they can relate, in a way that we can see and understand and feel. We don't feel like that. We don't behave like that. Again, I'm trying to take a few spots from a long Torah of Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag to take something that will open, B'ezrat Hashem, a new dimension, like I said, for us. So the key to understand that and many other serious questions, this time is too short, but let's focus on these three. So we have to understand basically what we call life, what we call creation, what we call reality, is being divided for 3 steps. And the paper that you're holding is starting from down to the top. It's also unlike many normally papers start from the top and going down, but there's a reason for it. So if you see on the right side, Matzav Aleph. Matzav Aleph is time number 1, I call it. And then you go up, you see time number 2. And then you go up, you see time number 3. Situation, the first one, the second one, and the third one, that represent different dimension of creation, that represent different kind of awareness, different kind of rules, different kind of everything, and I'll explain. So the first time is when the Almighty, which is infinity, is the Ein Sof, he had a plan in his will, in his desire to create the whole world. In his plan, he had a vision of everything. Because our main problem to understand a higher awareness or higher dimension, because we live in a limitation of time and space. Everything we can talk about, everything we can relate to, everything we're trying to understand normally has a dimension of time and space. Here we're talking something beyond time and space, where no limitation exists. Time does not exist, space does not exist. It's all like soul to speak of, in a plan, in the mind of the Almighty. So when He wanted to create something, our creation, from the very first moment, He had a vision of the very end. I repeat it again. In the very first moment, He had a vision of what it's going to look like in the very, very end. We don't operate like that. We have a plan where we have to do something, whether if it's in business, in Torah, with our family, whatever we want to do. Normally we take steps. Step number 1, number 2, number 3, and then. But we're not used to a way of thinking that actually the end exists in the beginning and the beginning exists in the end. There's no difference. Maybe to try to explain a little bit, I will tell you, see this book and you see this box, and you see this paper. Let's say, just for example, that for us, for our reality, this is the past, this is present, and this is future. Okay, the green color is the past, just for example, the black color is the present, and the white color is the future. Now, we live here, so we see here, this is covered from us, we don't see. We see only, Adam roe bedalet amotav, we see only what we can relate in the time and the space. But imagine if that will be revealed to us, the past and also the future, then it all will be the same. I'm using it as a physical, imagine a dimension, a level of awareness that it's all one, it's all together, there's nothing is covered. So what's the difference? So you cannot talk about what was, what is, and what will be. You experience it all at the same time. And I try to be a little bit more specific. You know, in a Jewish calendar, you have holidays, right? We have Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, Sukkot, Pesach, Shavuot. Okay? Yofi. Chazak u'baruch. When we eat matzah in Pesach, when we sit in the Sukkah in the Sukkot, when we light the candles of Chanukah in Chanukah. Imagine that it's all exists all the time. The light of freedom that's represented by the holy holiday Pesach exists all the time. The light of Torah, not only in Shavuot, all the time. The light of happiness, not only in Sukkot, all the time. Imagine a bus, and the way our language is also by mistake. What we're saying, oh, in 1 week from now, Chanukah will come. In about 2 or 3 months from now, Purim will come. And 4 months or 5 months, Pesach will come. Will come from where? Where did he go to? Isn't it the way we speak? It's totally wrong. Chanukah does not come. Purim does not come. Pesach did not disappear. It's not going to come back. It's always there. I give you a simple example to understand. Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler in the holy book Michtav Milah said the same thing. Imagine a bus with the stations. So when you ride the bus, and let's say you take the bus from Shchuna in Yerushalayim, Arzei Abira, you want to go to the Kotel. You're not going to say, in 10 minutes the Kotel will come to me. I will arrive to the Kotel in 10 or 15 minutes, right? The Kotel is not going to, or you take a bus from Bnei Brak to Yerushalayim. You're not going to say Yerushalayim will come to me in 45, 50 minutes. I will arrive to Yerushalayim 45. And if someone will tell you Yerushalayim come to me, you're going to laugh, right? The same funny the language we speak. Nothing come to you. You come to the thing. The Jewish holidays, we are traveling in the space of time and we are connected to Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, because in Shamayim, time does not exist. And we are able to connect by the Torah Kedosha in the time dimension that Hashem created specially for us, in the time that we connect. All what I said is just to expand it a little bit to understand why it's not strange that the Almighty, that limitation does not exist for Him. In the very first beginning of creation, He had a vision of the end of it. We call it beginning of the end, but for the Almighty, it was one thing. So that's situation number one, is the plan of creation. Time number two is 6,000 years that we are in the middle of them. We call it Olam ha'avoda v'aschar, the whole world of working and getting the reward. We have the challenges between light and darkness, between good and bad, and many other things, and we have to work that we can get the reward after. That's time number two. Time number three, the Gemara Tikkun, the end of the correction. We accomplish the mission, and we can get to the reward, step by step. So I made here in this paper, of course there are many more events that I did not include because one paper is small, but I took the major things that really happened. So it's all started time number one, the creation of the whole world. You can look at the paper with me. And then we see the sin of Adam, Egypt, exile of Egypt, redemption from Egypt, receiving of the Torah in the desert, building of the first temple in Eretz Israel, second exile, then the second temple, destruction of the temple, going to exile again, and then starting the footstep of Mashiach that we're actually in the middle of it right now as we speak. And then time of death, I wrote it suffering, it's going to be like a process of a delivery of a pregnant woman, very tough, very hard, a lot of pain before Mashiach comes. That's what we call the footsteps of Mashiach. And then revelation of the Mashiach, building the third Bet HaMikdash. That will be actually, if you look at the left side, that's the passage time. That's the time that the whole world is going to be transferring from the reality that we're facing right now to the new reality. Time number three, it can't jump overnight. It can't change overnight. So that's why so many things happen in front of our eyes now. We see everything so fast, dramatically change in every aspect of life. Politically, financially, health-wise, the way of the nature, so many things, hurricanes, tornado, changing of the weather. The changing is really in every aspect of life in front of our eyes, fast and fast and fast, because Hashem is giving us a wake-up call. Something is going on. Open your eyes, get ready. Because Hashem knows it's not fair to make Mashiach Bet HaMikdash overnight, then no one is ready. What's the big deal? Hashem is preparing us. And in my opinion, I'll share it with you, everything that got the attention of the whole world and the awareness and affecting everyone's life in this way or the other is a huge message from the Almighty. I'll give you an example, a few examples that we witness in our eyes. Remember September 11? Was no one in the whole world that did not know about it. Now, I'm not going to talk about what does it mean, why did it happen, it's not the point. Something that reached the awareness of everyone means is a great message by the Almighty. Another great example is the Corona. Everyone in the whole world knew that there's something going on. Why? Why now? What does it mean? I'm not getting into that now. It's a completely different topic. But it reaches the awareness of everyone else in the whole world. Now, the war situation in Russia, Israel, and the Hamas, believe it or not, create a lot of attention in the whole world. It's not only what we see in the news, there's so much behind this. Actually, politically, the whole world is divided at least for three major groups. That's why so many political leaders is talking about the Third World War. It's a lost time. It has a reason. That's why so much concern about the nuclear bomb in Iran or in Russia or whenever, or Ukraine or whoever can deal with it. Israel. It was never so dangerous like now. So means the Almighty is talking to us, and it's extremely important that we develop sensitivity and preparation for the next dimension that will happen. Sooner or later it will happen. It will happen. And the more we get ready, the more we receive the messages and grow spiritually from our selfishness and try to open the channels for the new dimension, better for us. And those who won't do it, I don't think there's any way to survive. It's going to be, when it's going to happen, it's going to be so fast and so overwhelming and dramatically different than what we used to. Imagine a world without money, without job you have to do every single day, without all the media that you surround and being influenced. Nothing of this will exist anymore. No money, no media, no work to do 8 or 10 hours or no matter what. חז"ל אומרים, איש תחת גפנו תאנתו ועוסקים בתורה. So it's beautiful for one hand, for those who prepare for it, but it's going to be bad like hell for those who does not develop the spiritual capacity to live only spiritual. So this is the purpose, to open the dimension, to understand time number 1, time number 2, time number 3. And if we have a little bit of sense of it, we understand that all what Hashem created is infinity. And that's what Chazal is calling Yemot Mashiach and Acharit HaYamim. And Chazal is dividing it for few periods. As I said, not everything is going to happen in one shot. So the first time, the first period of time of Mashiach, Mashiach will arrive, obviously. He'll build third Bet HaMikdash. He'll get all the people, Jewish people, in gathering of the exile. Everyone will go to live in Israel. And I said it many times, I'll say it again. The best investment you can do is in the Holy Land, in Eretz Israel. Those who can. Rabbi told you, I said it many times, I'm saying now again, and it's recorded. Invest in Eretz Israel. There are many rabbis in Eretz Israel saying, if you're not going to do so and prepare yourself here, might be a time that you'll have few hours to live. You don't know. You know how many rabbis screamed before the Holocaust? And many people say, what are you talking about? You are a depressing rabbi. Nothing will happen. Impossible. Today, the same thing. Many rabbis are screaming out loud in Eretz Israel, get ready. Something major is going to happen. And somehow other people says, nah, no makes sense. You're only saying, only HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows when. But it will happen at some moment. And our future is not here. The future of all the Jewish people is, וכבר התחיל. Already major עלייה to ארץ ישראל. יקבץ נדחי ישראל. ולמד את כל העם לקיים תורה ומצוות. Mashiach will teach everyone how to practice Torah and mitzvot in a perfect way. No one will be hungry. Food will be, אומרת הגמרא, תוציא הארץ כלי מילת. You don't have to shop, no here and not there. Nowhere. It will be provided to you. לא מלחמות, no reason to fight anything. He makes all this energy for the beauty of life, for the peace and harmony of life. Everyone will be busy just learning Torah. ישמור מצוות ויגע בתורה. ואז יתקיים הפסוק, ומלא הארץ דעה את השם. The godly awareness will be spread all around the universe. And that's the main thing of Mashiach, to raise our awareness, to teach us, to lead us to a better dimension, to a better awareness. And that will happen. רווחה כלכלית, money, nothing, won't exist at all. Politically quiet, no one fight anyone. Health, 100% perfect health. No health problem, no health insurance, no doctors, nothing. Everything will be provided to you by the nature. All what you have to do to go deeper and deeper and higher by knowing the Almighty and learning Torah. וכולם יהיו פנויים. שאפילו עסק כל העולם יהיה לדעת השם, even the goyim will come and support the Jewish people, please learn more, please practice more. ויודעים דברים סתומים, all the secrets of the Torah will be revealed to each person according to his level, obviously. But, look like in the first time, עולם כמנהגו נוהג. Nothing will be supernatural. Our awareness will grow, but everything around you will look normal. And that's the first period that חז"ל אומרים, אין בין עולם הזה לימות המשיח, אלא שעיבוד מלכויות בלבד. Okay. The second period of times of Mashiach will start with resurrection of the dead, obviously something supernatural, not so normal. And then all the dead people coming to life will see miracles and more miracles, and everything will be extremely different than what we see now. הרמב"ם אומר בתחיית המתים, maybe even in the first period will be many miracles, but depends on our zchut, how much zchut we have, how much merit we have, but the second period obviously full of miracles, nothing normal. ואז זה יהיה הגאולה הגדולה, the spiritual situation of עם ישראל will be very high. אז התקופה הראשונה ימות משיח, תקופה שנייה תחיית המתים, that elevation of not only soul also body, because all the Torah mitzvot that we're doing now, actually the benefit is more for your soul. But in the time of resurrection of the dead, there will be tikkun for your body also, not only for the soul, which is something amazing that we cannot even imagine now. כל זה באלף השישי, ואז we cannot even talk more, the אלף השביעי will be גילוי אלוקות, revealing of the Almighty more and more. So we say in the תפילה of Shabbat, אין ארוך לך השם אלוקנו בעולם הזה, ואין זולתך מלכנו לחיי העולם הבא, אפס בלתך גואלנו ממות המשיח, ומי דומה לך משה לתחיית המתים. We see in every prayer of Shabbat we mention it 4 times. עולם הזה, this life, עולם הבא, life after life, ימות המשיח, times of Mashiach, and resurrection of the dead, תחיית המתים. We see that we actually reciting the tefillah, and it's included in our tradition, in our faith, in our Torah, in many, many aspects. So עולם הזה, עולם הבא, ימות המשיח, and תחיית המתים. And each one, each stage, each step is different than the other one. Also, תקופת ימי משיח, Ramban and Ramban are talking about it. There are many opinions. I'm going to stick more to the way of the Ramban and the Mekubalim. So עולם הבא, according to them, that after תחיית המתים, after resurrection of the dead, when body and soul actually, they יום הדין הגדול והנורא, with the big day of judgment, Hashem will rejudge again the whole world, the whole human being that lives, and we give us life forever, body and soul together. According to Ramban and major Mekubalim, that's Olam Haba. And Hashem will provide us the perfect and best situation just to learn Torah and do mitzvot. And that will be preparation for what we call Olam Aschar. That's also kind of preparation. Okay? And the Rambam saying in Ilchot Melachim, chapter 12, לא נתאבו הנביאים והחכמים. Why are we looking forward so much for time of Mashiach? Rambam explained. נתאבו הנביאים והחכמים ליומות המשיח לא כדי שישלטו על כל העולם. Not when we're trying to take control of the whole world. No, that's not the point. אלא כדי שיהיו פנויים בתורה וחוכמתה. We're trying to get the peace of mind and the right condition and situation that we can learn the Torah and mitzvot the way it's supposed to be. ולא יהיה להם נוגש ומבטל. We're not going to have any enemies, we're not going to have any trouble that bothering us every single day. כדי שיזכו לחיי העולם הבא. And all עולם הבא, the whole concept of עולם הבא, to know Hashem more and more and more. לפיכך, יהיו החכמים גדולים ויודעים דברים עמוקים. Hashem will reveal to us the deepest secret of the Torah like was never done before. והשיגו דעת בוראם כפי כוח האמת, ונאמר כי מלאה הארץ דעת השם כמים להם מכסים. The godly awareness will be spread all around the world like a water of the ocean. This is very interesting and important to understand why the mashal is like the water covering the ocean. So we all know if you step into the ocean, you start to swim. So the first piece of ocean, they have certain depths and certain fish, certain plants, and whatever you can see if you dive inside, right? If you go a little bit deeper, then more chance you meet bigger fish, bigger plants, and then you see only under. You go much deeper, I don't know, maybe you see shark and other huge fish and different things. But on top of the water, it's all look flat, all look the same. Only when you go deeper inside, you see the differences. So it's same with us. Hashem will give a godly awareness and knowledge and feeling of his existence to everyone. Says everyone will be at least in the level of a prophet. Even small children will be like a level of a prophet. Everyone will know Hashem. Everyone will feel Hashem, not only know, feel, and live with Hashem 100%. But How deep he will go to everyone is according to how much he prepares himself now. That's why kamayim layam mechasim. You can't compare the depth of that spot in the ocean or to the middle one or the very, very far away one. So the more you refine your vessel, which is your life now, body and the soul together, the more you will get reward after by knowing Hashem and feeling close to Hashem. So Ramban is saying also, לעתיד לבוא, ומה לשם את לבבך לבב זרעך. You know, Brit Milah, circumcision we do to a baby, is not on the heart. So why the Torah is speaking about to circumcise the heart? כי לימות המשיח תהיה הבחירה בטוב טבע. Because now a person has a free choice. He can choose say or not to say, hear or not to hear, look or don't look, do or don't do, eat or don't eat, right? We are in between all the time. But לעולם הבא, in the time of Mashiach that we're speaking about, will be attracted only to good, only to purity, and only to holiness, and with no challenges. That's what means the pasuk, Umal Hashem elokach levacha vav zarecha. Hashem will refine your heart in a higher level like you never had before. Ze milat halev. Because Hashem remove all Yetzer Hara completely, and that's the meaning of the Midrash. I said, take Yetzer Hara and you slaughter him, shochet oto, so it's not going to exist anymore. ואומר בירמיהו, והייתי להם לאלוקים והם העלו לי לעם, ולא ילמדו עוד איש את רעהו ואיש את אחיו לומר דעו את השם, כי כולם ידעו אותי מקטנם ועד גדולם. You see, Yirmiyahu saying it very clearly, straightforward. No one will have to teach anyone, because everyone will know me, from the young children to the very old people. Everyone will know Hashem. ובידוע יצר האדם רע מנעוריו, אומר הרמב"ן, וצריך ללמד אותם. Now, we need to learn, we need to teach, but not in the end of days, when Yetzer Hara is going to be completely, everyone will understand, everyone will know. So while, according to Rambam and Ramban, so we can now understand the purpose, why do you need the time of Mashiach, the time of redemption. אז אומרת מסכת שבת, page 151, הגיעו שנים אשר תאמר, אין בהם חפץ, אלו ימות משיח, שאין בהם לא זכות ולא חובה. In one hand it sounds like perfect, beautiful, but in another hand is a time that's not needed in one aspect. Why? Why is it not needed? Because there is no way to get more credit in a time of Mashiach. To earn the credit is only now. כי בימי Mashiach there's no challenge. Hashem spread his awareness all around, young children, old people, all will know. And by nature, I gave many times an example. Imagine Torah says, no, don't speak Lashon Hara, don't look, don't say, don't hear, don't do this, don't do that. Imagine if doing the sin is like putting your finger inside the electricity and getting electric shock. Will you do it again? If by mistake it's happened to you, you will reject and not touch it anymore. That will be the situation. And all the mitzvot will be sweet and beautiful and rejoicing and enjoying, that's all. Because that's the purpose why Hashem created us, to enjoy more and more and more. כי הזכות והחובה תלויה בחפץ. So will be no free choice anymore. Everyone will go only for the good, only for the pure, only for the holy. But the way to earn it, that's why it says, ימי משיח אין בהם חפץ. You can't earn anymore. Now the 6,000 years is the time of working, a time of avodah, and based on that, that's why we're saying the 3 times I told you in the very beginning, time number 1, make a must for time number 3 and time number 2. Because why Almighty will give you to reach time number 3? Because you passed time number 2. Because you gain it. Otherwise, why should you have it? וזה הבטחת הנביא והסירות את לב האבן מבשרכם, I removed the heart of stone, שנזכה לביטול יצר הרע. על ידי תאריך הדרגתי, עלייה אחר עלייה, going up, step after step, until we reach, it's unbelievable, the level of אדם הראשון before he ate from the tree, before the sin. That's something that we can't even imagine. That's why I said in the very beginning, try to open your heart and soul to this dimension, because we cannot imagine. Logically, how can I explain? Can you explain Adam HaRishon? Chazal saying, you know what was Adam HaRishon? After the sin, his heel was shining more than the sun. After the sin. So what was his heel before the sin? And what was his eyes and brain before the sin? The heel is the lower part of your body, down in your leg. How is it possible? So we can Adam HaRishon, Malachim, the angels, serving him food and giving him wine and meat. How is it possible? Angels serving him. As Ramchal Omer, we cannot understand that. What we have to know, there is a reality before the sin, and after the sin, completely different. And there is a reality, if Adam HaRishon won't sin, Omer Ramchal, Hashem will bring that much of new souls to live, and that's it. We all should be supposed to be in heaven, perfect life. Like situation number 3, time number 3 could happen faster than what is it now. The sin of Adam did not avoiding it from happening, it's just extended the time. And actually in a spiritual way, time equal awareness, nothing more than that. Omer Rabbi Nachman, maybe extend it a little bit. Omer Rabbi Nachman, that it's also to do in your awareness, in your consciousness. He said, for example, let's say you have a field that is like 3 miles, okay? So here come a person that run fast. He can run 3 miles probably in, I don't know, 10 minutes? Something like that, maybe even faster. And then come a person, is very old, he go with a cane, he goes slowly, 3 miles for him is 5 hours, but it's the same 3 miles. This is equal to what? Rabbi Nachman is saying, when a person is sleeping, he can dream about things that happen all over 70 years. 70 shana. 70 years, so many things happen in his dream. And then he wake up, he look at the watch, I was sleeping only 15 minutes. How is it possible? How is it possible that you had a dream of 70 years within the time frame of 15 minutes only? What's the difference between when you wake or when you sleep? Think about it. When you sleep, your awareness is taken from you, your consciousness. The subconscious is more active, but your regular consciousness is taken away from you. So whatever have to happen, you need to feel it like 70 years. When you wake up, your consciousness is coming back to you. Then you don't need 70 years. You understand it's actually 15 years. 15 minutes, 15 minutes as compared to 70 years. So this is a mashal to explain to us. A normal person needs to live 70 years to learn so much day after day after day. And a person who has a higher awareness than him needs only 15 minutes of life. He doesn't need 70 years. In 15 minutes he can accomplish, Ta'ari Zal says he used to sleep 1 hour, take a nap, Shabbos nap. He says when he woke up, if the whole water of the ocean will be ink, and you take all the trees in the whole world and you make papers you make out of, right? I cannot write, it's not good enough that I can write for you what I'm learning 1 hour when my soul going up to the heavens on Shabbat nap. That's a very, very classical example for a person, a holy rabbi, who lived in a higher awareness than normal people. He doesn't need the 70 years. He doesn't need the 100 years. In 1 hour he can accomplish what we cannot accomplish in a lifetime. But it's not the end of it. Even that person that needs only 15 minutes, imagine what he can accomplish in 70 years. A lot, right? Then there is a person higher than him who can tell him, hey my friend, your consciousness, your level is much higher than average. Chazak u'baruch. But you know something? I don't need your 70 years. For me, 15 minutes is enough to reach what this person is reaching in 15 minutes for another person. You understand? And then come a person even higher than that guy and telling him, I don't need your 70 years. I can reach it also in 15 minutes. And higher and higher and higher and higher and endless. Until you reach a point that time does not exist at all. What we're gaining out of this, it's all to do with the level of consciousness, the level of awareness. And that will be the whole process of Mashiach. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu is surprising us, but slowly, not too fast. He's giving us the lesson. He's giving us the tools, the preparation that we need. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's crisis, sometimes the whole world is changing, but still, in a dose that we can take, not too much. Not too much, only the Almighty know how to bring it step after step that we can take it and we can prepare ourselves for that. וימות המשיח, לחזור למדרגת אדם הראשון, to the level of אדם before the sin, אין עלייה אחרי אומר הרמח"ל, המצב הרביעי שיתגלה, הקדוש ברוך הוא לכל בריאותיו מצד הידיעה וההשגה, לא מצד מופתים. He says, ימות משיח is not based on miracles. It's based on your awareness and knowledge, that's all. You see the honor, the glory of Hashem. It's not about the miracles. We don't need the miracles. It will happen anyway, but that's the side effect of Mashiach. The point is not the miracles. והשיגו בריבוי הדעת והחוכמה, וזה מה שאמר ישעיה, כי מלאה הארץ דעה את השם כמים להם מכסים, שאז לא יצטרכו אותות ומופתים. You know, now many people saying, you want to prove to me Torah is emet, Hashem is emet, Judaism is true, show me. Change nature for me. Show me splitting of the oceans. Show me, I want to see all these great miracles. Why? Because people feel if you show me a miracle, I'll follow you, I'll believe. But at the end of days, will be no needed at all. That's not the point. Will be no needed. We will be connected anyway, in a perfect way. נהיה בהשגה, not less than the angels. בחירה בטבע ללא בחירה למעשה. By nature, you'll be attracted to the mitzvot according to מעשים טובים, just like אדם הראשון, if הוא be seen בעזרת השם, ואז זה יהיה העולם הבא. That will be the beautiful reward actually that what Hashem wanted for us. So all the bad influence and evil was created actually to be eliminated. And if we go back to what we started, the shiur, that 3 times, 1, 2, and 3, we have to understand 1 is from the Almighty, is His plan. 3 will last forever. So actually we so focus on this 6,000 years and it's very natural, it's very normal. But I think if we can take from this shiur just the feeling that that's not all what we see, is all what exists. There's so much beyond. So much beyond. And actually this 6,000 years, which is time number 2, is important, is extremely important. That's what we can relate to, otherwise we won't be here. Chazak u'baruch. But when HaKadosh Baruch Hu will finish the cycle, it's going to be like eliminate completely. And actually in the idea of Hashem, Ba'olam HaNetzach, in the world of eternity, the time number 2 is so small. It's nothing. 6,000 years compared to infinity is nothing. It's nothing. And this is the thing. This is the thing. If we understand what Sefer Ka'avot, Olam Hazeh La Prosdor, is a passage. We're only passing here. ייכנס לטרקלין. I finish with the story of the Chafetz Chaim. Chafetz Chaim travel somewhere and he stay in a hotel. So, the opposite. A person was traveling, staying in a hotel, and he come to the house of the Chafetz Chaim. So he told him, listen, why do you think you have to invest so much in life, so much in here? And the guy criticized the Chafetz Chaim that his house is very simple, nothing is fancy, nothing is too comfortable. And the Chafetz Chaim asked him, back then, they didn't have fancy hotels like we have now. So Chafetz Chaim asked the guy, tell me, in your hotel that you stay, does it look any better, any more comfortable that mine? He says, no. So why are you criticizing me? He says, no, I'm temporarily in this hotel. You know, I just rented it for a few days, I move on. He says, I'm temporarily in this world also. I did not come here forever. School of Mitzvot, thank you for listening. Erev Tov and Naim.